What's going on, Pixel Nation, and welcome to the second episode of Kit Switch. Today we're going to discuss the Recon class, which in Battlefield 3 received a substantial nerf since Bad Company 2. Now, in order to play the sniper effectively, you do need to be a very conservative playstyle, or you need to do that with the snipers anyway. You can rush with your other guns. The problem with the snipers is that they're a one-shot kill to the head, and only to the head at any range. Now, there is an upcoming patch which more than likely will change this, but that's in an upcoming patch. We're discussing how the game is now at the time of this video being made. Now, in order to play sniper effectively, as I said, you need to stay very well behind cover, you need to shoot through gaps, because your gun's accuracy and range is what you need to take advantage of. So you need to be staying away from enemies. A good example of when you should do this is you need to stay approximately near one objective, for example in Conquest, and be shooting into another objective while spotting enemies to help clear them out. Now let's get into the nitty gritty of this gun itself. It deals 75 damage out to 20 meters, meaning that it is not a one-shot kill at close range. As I said, the upcoming patch may change this. But the gun deals 55 damage after 50 meters, and this makes it a one-shot kill due to the headshot multiplier to the head at all ranges. Now, you do have to account for bullet drop, we'll get into that in a second, but the gun has a 10 round magazine, as you would expect, with the 1 round in the chamber giving you a total of 11 shots before you have to reload. Now, this bullet travels at 520 meters per second, and the bullet drop is 9 meters per second downwards. Now this means that for every second the bullet is in flight, depending on your distance of course, means how far down the bullet drops. So if you're firing at a target that's 1,200 meters away, it's going to take just over 2 seconds, which means your bullet will drop a total of roughly 20 meters. Now of course those ranges don't exist in the game. I believe the longest headshot in game is currently in the area of 2,000 meters, but generally this doesn't affect it. However, if an opponent is running across your scope and you need to aim ahead of him, then you will need to counter for the bullet's speed. This is not something you can just know and figure out mathematically. You just need to use the gun a lot and get a good feel for it. Now, the attachments you choose can vary this gun's behaviour quite a lot. I prefer, with the SV98 anyway, the suppressor, an 8x scope like one I am using, the rifle scope, and a straight pull bolt. Now the suppressor, however, does reduce your damage, and there's no way getting around that, which means you will need to get a headshot. However, as the suppressor uses slower bullets, which means you have to aim further ahead of running targets, it does mean that the bullets drop a lot faster as well, which is a bit disappointing and can make it difficult. However, it does mean you stay off the radar, which makes this ideal for short range engagements and holding down choke points. Now, the reason I use a straight pull bolt is because it's very useful for holding down choke points. It allows you to fire multiple shots while aiming down the scope, as the straight pull bolt allows you to rechamber the next round while still holding down the gun's sights. This is very useful, as I said, for holding down choke points, and it allows you to fire off multiple rounds, which means you can fire body shots into multiple targets if necessary. However, if you want to go for long range sniping, I highly recommend sticking on a ballistic scope, the 12 times, and a bipod. Find yourself a nice little sort of nook somewhere, preferably on an objective, which means you can help deter enemies from capturing it. And then you just find a nice place, mount your bipod, because this reduces the idle sway of the gun down to 0, and then this allows you to take long headshots. When you're using a sniper rifle, or a bolt action in particular, more than likely you're not going to get a one-hit kill. You're going to clip somebody with it and then have to finish them off. So in order to finish them off, you're going to need your trusty sidearm. I find that the .44 Magnum is one of the best sidearms for a sniper. The G18 and the M93R are also fairly good as well. Now, this gun is like a little hand cannon in my opinion. It's also a revolver, meaning it only has 6 rounds. But it is a .44 Magnum, which just makes everything awesome. It doesn't matter what situation you are, even dying in the game is awesome when you have a 44 Magnum. Now the 44 Magnum deals 60 damage out as far as 12 meters, and then the damage steadily drops down at 50 meters to 20 damage. This means it's a 2-shot kill out to approximately 18 or so meters, give or take a few. This means that in close range it's a 2-shot kill. It's very useful for clearing out buildings and also for getting awesome triple sprays. Now it has the same upwards recoil as the sniper rifles, which makes this gun quite unmanageable sometimes. It also has the slowest fire rate of all the pistols. For example, the G18 has 900 rounds per minute, while this only has 190. However, the advantage of this gun is its extreme power. This means that you need to know in the back of your head that if you take 2 accurate shots with this gun, you can drop them. And you need to slow down your shots and not blindly spray it everywhere. Taking your time with the Magnum is one of the secrets to its success. Now, the Magnum also comes with a PKA 3.4x scope. This particular version is unlocked at level 44. This is quite a strong little handgun as well. It has the same damage statistics as the standard Magnum, although I find this very useful for when you need to pick off somebody who is head glitching over something, or who is down a good bit away from you where you need to put in multiple shots quickly. I find the gun's very manageable with the 3.4x zoom. It also finds that it makes it easier to get longer range headshots, which increase its gun's power massively. Now, as for our equipment, we're discussing the micro air vehicle, or the MAV. This is a small little aerial vehicle that you can fly around. It has an infrared camera which allows you to spot enemies. Now, it can also be used to destroy enemy equipment such as mines, C4 and other things. However, it's very useful for shooting down enemy MAVs, which is done by jamming the item. In other words, you just sort of lock onto it and it fires a sort of electronic jammer type thing that will blow up the enemy MAV. Now, as you can see, I'm getting lots of spot bonuses. This gun is also featured with motion sensors, which have a very nice effect. They give away any enemies who are moving around position on the minimap. So for every kill you get, if you spotted them, you get extra 30 points. This means you can also fly your MAV into a nice location where there's a good lot of enemies. You can take out enemy MAVs, and then you can leave your MAV and park it, because you can come back to the MAV later. In other words, coming back to the MAV is one of the strong points. You can leave it, on top of a building where nobody will find it, or on a balcony or somewhere. And this means, it'll continue spotting away for you and giving away people's positions with its motion sensors. Now, you can kill with the MAV. Unfortunately, I'm yet to work out how to do that properly. I've done it a few times, although I'm just too inconsistent to use it effectively. The enemy MAVs in this are trying their best to take people out with the MAVs. However, I find just flying it above the map and spotting everybody is a massive help to the team. Alright guys, that's it for the second episode of Kit Switch. Next week we're hopefully going to have a look at laser designation, javelins, SOFLAMs and all that kind of area, because I get a lot of questions when it comes down to that. So anyway guys, and to the Pixel Nation, as always, it has been good talk, and I'll see you out there.